I want to welcome to the program our friend from Detroit, Michigan, Mr. Rick Ector. Rick, how are you, sir?
Hey, man, you know what? I am still stoked. It's Tuesday. And, of course, fellow patriots are still celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Athens. But besides that, I am basking in the afterglow of another annual free shooting for ladies event that we just did this past Sunday, man. I'm excited.
I got to tell you what, I'm enjoying you basking in this. I've got a little secondhand basking going on because I'm really excited about this too, Rick. This is amazing. So the Detroit News said more than 350 women were there for this class. That is correct, but it was actually more than 400 women from what I understand.
Right. At the time that I was speaking with the reporter, she was asking me how many had gone through at that point. And at that point, I knew for sure it was at least 350. By the time we were done, we were at 417.
Holy moly.
I know. And what's even crazier, I was trying to do 500, but my estimation of people who weren't going to actually make it out was a little off. But we did 300 last year, 417 this year. We're still growing and we're still bringing interest to guns and personal protection to women. So I'm happy.
That is amazing. And how many instructors did you have out there?
I had instructors all over the place. I had at least 30. I had more than 30, but I know I had at least 30 instructors, and we were manning 12 lanes, and those lanes were humming from the word go early in the morning all the way to the early evening. So we had runners to keep the lines filled, keep the lines orderly. I had over 30 instructors. I had a plethora of RSOs. I had one guy chief RSOing. We had safety briefings going continuously throughout the day. It was a well-oiled machine.
That is awesome. And so the women who showed up, what did they learn? What was the process?
Well, the process was to get them in and put them into a meeting area, and that's where I conducted the range safety briefing, a review if they've had experience before about fundamental firearm safety. The NRA's 3 rules, the particular rules of the particular gun range that we were at, give them some tips on marksmanship, answer any questions, and we processed them through. And they were one-on-one in the shooting booth. Every person that participated had an instructor whisper away right at their shoulder to give them a good indoctrination to shooting. Some women had shot before, but this was like just to get women out of the house and get them in the gun range and expose them to guns and personal protection. And I believe we accomplished that goal.
I think it sounds like it. I mean, again, just looking at the coverage there from the Detroit News, who had an opportunity to speak with some of the women who went through. We talked about the real estate agent who attended the course. She's planning on getting her concealed carry license. Angela Hodson, 35 years old, said she took the class for personal safety reasons. Said she's not yet sure she'll get a gun permit. She said, I've never shot before. I'm still kind of scared. You can kill someone, she said. I think I need more training. And that's good because now she knows where that training is available to her, Rick. Obviously you have to have some interest to go out and take a course like that. But it sure sounds like, there were a lot of women there who were thinking about not just going to the range and seeing what firearms were all about, but they were also thinking about carrying a firearm for their protection.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people, especially women who are on the fence. And this event is designed for those ladies who are undecided as to whether it's something that they would like to pursue. So I just extended an open invitation. I removed all the barriers. You make it here. It's free. No gun rental, no ammunition costs, no shooting range fees, safety equipment, target silhouette, personalized one-on-one with a firearms instructor. All you have to do is get here. We'll keep you safe. We'll teach you some basic fundamentals. And then you have the ultimate decision as to whether, they wanted to pursue this thing or just say, hey, it was a great experience. And now I know. So it was just an informative community outreach, community service activity.
So I've got to ask you as well, one of the firearms instructors that the Detroit News talked about, Tanisha Moner, who told the Detroit News that she got her CPL after she became a crime victim twice, and then clearly, Rick, went on to not just get her concealed carry license, but become a firearms instructor. It seems to me like I think everybody's got a fascinating story about how they became a gun owner. But Tanisha sounds like she's got a pretty incredible story to tell.
She does, and she's been featured in the local media here. She came to me about 3 years ago. She had been victimized twice. She was extremely scared of guns, and I worked with her on and on to get her confidence up. She got a concealed carry license, and then I mentored her. Now she became a range safety officer. Then I credentialed her to be a firearms instructor, and now she's also a chief range safety officer. So she's like one of my progeny. She's like my shining, beaming example of what's possible.
That is that's awesome. And again, for her to have gone through what she's gone through, and to have that fear, as you said, of firearms, but also that desire to protect herself. I imagine that when she first came to you, she had no idea where she would end up.
Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine, the most terrified person in the world of an inanimate object, she would have been the poster child. But, and I think what it really ultimately boiled down to, I was patient, and I made sure I answered all of her questions and addressed her concerns. And she took it on a leap of faith because she trusted me. And, I didn't let her down, and she more than exceeded my expectations. And really proud and happy for her. And if I know that she can do it, my story, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
So let me ask you, Rick, because, look, we've seen this full court press for several months now against owning a gun, but also against carrying a gun, against being a supporter of the Second Amendment, against being an NRA member. You're told, by the national media, by people like Hillary Clinton, you're the problem. Right. And yet you look at the turnout for your event this weekend, 417 women, you had 300 last year. I'm wondering, are people ignoring that message? Are they rejecting that message?
They're ignoring it and they're rejecting it. And I guess it's a case of certain politicians, who are anti-gun, who are trying to create reality through perceptions in the media. Their perceptions and the reality they're trying to create doesn't match up with what's actually occurring. And it's really unfortunate that people try to, engage in that nefarious and misleading propaganda. But with the support that we're getting, the interest level from women, I'm here to dispel all those myths. Women are into guns. They want to know more. And it's up for us, trainers, to get them involved and get them set up.
And I know that you weren't quizzing the women in attendance about their politics or things of that nature, but I'm guessing that not all of them were conservative Republicans. I'm guessing you had a pretty good cross-section. In fact, was there a stereotypical person who came in, or was it young, old, folks who live in Detroit, folks who live out in the suburbs?
It was really a mosaic of America, man. The only thing they had in common was that they were all women. Every race, every age categories. We had teenagers, young adults, middle-aged, senior citizens, all races, all ethnicities, orientations. The thing that binded them together, aside from being women, was the fact that they had an interest in being guns. As far as I'm concerned, an event like this is apolitical. You have women who are being targeted by vicious predators. They want to know more about protecting themselves, their family, and their children, and they took me up on this offer to learn more. So, at the end of the day, through activities like this, there'll come a time when they have to look at that political propaganda and make a decision. But that wasn't this past weekend. This weekend is to empower them and get them ready to move forward on this path of responsible gun ownership.
You going to do it again next year?
I'm going to do it again next year, bigger and better.
Well, listen, you let me know. I'd like to purchase some ammo.
I will put you on the donor list.
All right, please do. Please do. Rick, again, thanks for everything you do, man. This is just a fantastic event you put on and an amazing turnout. So we really appreciate it.
I thank you very much, and I know I'll be talking to you more, but I'm going to keep saying it every time I talk to you. Glad to be on the show and see you in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you long before then. I know that, but we will see you in Atlanta. Rick Ector joined us from Rick's Firearm Academy of Detroit. You can find Rick on Twitter at DetroitCCW. You can also find him online at DetroitCCW.com.